Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Grind. Creta and Jimmy back at it again. Jimmy, the Cowboys are back out of the coffin, and they are back to being Super Bowl contenders.
All right, we're out of the coffin and we're digging the graves now, baby. Maher the Marksman. That's all I got to say. Guys, automatic from 50 on. You know, that last drive, we're watching it, and I go, hey, don't get too close now. We don't want to get within 30. You know, we got to give this guy some space. So, yeah, loved it.
You know, I thought he missed it at first. I had to go back and rewind it because the camera angle. But, yeah, definitely made it. A little worried how conservative we got there in the second half. I felt like Kellen Moore and those
guys.
Like
Red J was back, huh?
Exactly. That's what it felt like, to be honest. It felt like we were playing not to lose instead of trying to win. Like we were trying to protect Cooper Rush, and it was like the play call was completely different in the second half.
I got a theory. So I think that it seems like, it always seems like the players step up and play better when Dak's out.
Yeah.
It's almost like they play down because Dak is he's so dynamic that they're like, well, Dak will make a play. Now Dak's out. Okay, we got to step our game up. To me, that's what it looked like. Not so much with the defense, but with the offense. That, and I'm sure they changed some stuff up. I noticed CD was in the slot a lot more. So I think things changed, and I think it changed both schematically, and I believe that the players decided, hey, we really got to start playing Dak's out. We don't have a dynamic quarterback. Sorry for Cooper Rush is listening. I believe in you. Love you, buddy.
I agree with that. I think there's a lot of truth to that take. I think when Dak's in there, they put too much on Dak's shoulders and they expect Dak to carry them. But then when Cooper Rush is in there, it's more of a holistic game plan where they try to feature everybody and try to.
Because they looked more like a team.
On Dak. Yeah,
they looked way more like a team than they have. So,
and I love that. Cincinnati struggled protecting the quarterback last year, most sacks by any team in the NFL. They got your boy Throatzilla, and he still couldn't block.
Dude, they replaced everyone from the left guard over to Throatzilla, and it still didn't matter because you had a guy named Micah Parsons coming off the edge there and just unblockable. The guy's phenomenal.
I mean, he might be the best. Well, he's definitely a top 5 defender in the NFL. I don't know if he's better than Aaron Donald, but I mean, the Cowboys, what a pick that was.
Yeah,
he should be.
Loved it. I wanted Rashawn Slater. I wanted a lineman. I wanted a lineman so bad. And I thought, well, I think he's going to be good for us, but we really need a lineman. No, we drafted Lawrence Taylor. I love it.
Well, the Cowboys, big win. So they're 1-1. Of course, looking at the East, Eagles, they're looking pretty good. They're 2-0. And we play the Giants on Monday Night Football. They're 2-0. What do you think about the Giants? Danny Dimes he's having the best start he's ever had.
Yeah, as long as Daniel Jones is still under center for the Giants, they still don't do much for me. I'm like this. That granted, the coach is the one that helped Josh Allen really turn it on, but I think Josh Allen had more to start with than Daniel Jones. So, to me, Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz, none of them really scare me because I think those guys still turn the ball over, and when it comes down to it. Playing us, we're always the team to beat in the division, whether we're good or bad. Just, you're a Longhorn fan, you know how it is. Oh, everybody, we're going to beat Texas. We're going to beat OU. We're going to beat whoever, even when they're down. And so they don't scare me.
I'm with you. I still think it's the Cowboys' division to lose. The Eagles, they look like the best team in the division, but they're still going to have to be the Cowboys. Cowboys with a big game on Monday night. In the last 5 years, played the Giants 10 times. Cowboys are 9-1. Against the Giants in that time frame, undefeated on Monday night when they played the Giants in the last 5 years. So, big get. And Cooper Rush, 2-0 starting quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Vikings last year on the road, beat the Bengals last week. Now he's got to play the Giants on the road again Monday night. So, it's a big win. Need to if the Eagles are going to keep winning.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to start winning. We're going to have to win. We're going to have to beat teams like the Lions. We're going to have to beat the Bears. We're going to have to beat these teams down the stretch in the NFC to try and separate ourselves, especially if those other teams keep winning.
All right, Cowboys Big one Monday night. Moving to college football, kind of the I guess the biggest news of the week. I guess it was announced kind of the Oklahoma State has both announced once they move to the OU moves to the SEC, no more Bedlam. What do you think about that? Another rivalry bites the dust for conference realignment and TV.
I think this goes. It's shades of Texas and Texas A&M. You've got OU moving, and honestly, I don't think they want any part of OSU. The record. Have you seen the numbers on it?
I did look the record. If I told
it ain't
you
close,
they've played 126 times.
Yeah.
And how many times Oklahoma State's beat them? 19.
19.
Oklahoma State has only beat them 19 times in 126 years.
And I'm just I think it stinks. We have a lot of buddies, OSU fans, and went to Oklahoma State or just OSU fans. I think it stinks because it's like you said, it's another example of tradition kind of exiting in the wave of money. But what are you going to do? I mean, you schedule it non-conference, right? Battle of the Axe. Sherman Denison are separated. They make sure to play each other. All it is, I mean, work it out. Work it out.
My theory, I think Oklahoma State needs that game way more than Oklahoma does.
Mm-hmm.
And Oklahoma's going to have some big time matchups in the SEC, and plus they're always going to have the Red River rivalry with Texas. Oklahoma State for recruiting, now they're not going to be in the same conference as Texas and OU. Oklahoma State, they need that game. They need that home game every other year. Even though they've only beat them 19 times in 126 years, it's still your biggest rivalry. It's in state. Even for the handful of times you beat them, you need it for for recruiting purposes. And I think
you need it.
I think 10 years from now, Oklahoma State's they're gonna really want that game back.
And I think you may see something as far as recruiting goes. If Oklahoma can get in and have marginal success in the SEC, I think Oklahoma State, you may see something like what happened where A&M started getting recruits that would never even step foot on College Station. They started to get recruits when they got to the SEC. You may see Oklahoma benefit from that as well, as long as teams like Alabama and Georgia are the horses pulling the cart. People are going to want to be associated with that. And so I think you may see that. You may see Oklahoma State recruits start jumping ship and going to Oklahoma more.
That's why I think Oklahoma State needs that game more than OU does.
Mm-hmm.
Again, because OU will have the SEC schedule and they'll have Texas always. But, I think Oklahoma State's one of the most underrated college programs of the last 25 years for sure, and especially in Mike Gundy. I mean, they're guaranteed to win at least 9 games every year. And I feel like the reason that they are so underrated year in, year out as a program is because they haven't been able to beat OU consistently. I think Gundy's only beat them 3 times in 25 years. And then he was on the staff when Les Miles beat them twice. So they've only beat them 5 times in the last, 25 years or so. So
yeah, think about that. That is that's one-sided. That's a seesaw that don't saw it, it sees, buddy.
Oklahoma has 90 wins to OSU 19, and I think there was 7 ties.
Yes. Glad it ain't me.
Yeah. Well, speaking of rivalries, heading to another one. We got a big one at Jerry's World Saturday. One year, I'm sure you're going to be heavily invested in. It's the Razorbacks of Arkansas taking on Texas A&M Aggies. Aggies got the win last week over a tough Miami team after they lost at home to Appalachian State. So they come in at 2-1. Arkansas undefeated 3-0, but I'm in the middle. I'm in Austin Saturday at the Texas UTSA game, taking that in, and I look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and I see Arkansas getting beat. Fortunately, you come back and win. So, what's that about, having a tough time with Missouri State?
17-0, man. It was. You remember you and I. It was 17-0 at one point. You remember you and I go to the Texas Arkansas game last year, and I said, buddy, they are going to come. I said, Arkansas is going to be ready to play. This means a whole lot more to Arkansas than it did Texas. And that game, those players, and that's Bobby Petrino's credit. When he was at Arkansas, they would run through a wall for Bobby Petrino. He had his team ready, and you knew it. I'm looking on boards, and these people are going, oh, they're FCS, da-da-da. I'm like, well, if Marshall and Georgia State and Appalachian State, which we talked about. If they showed you anything, it's the big dogs get bit sometimes. And I think people came in. I think sure we came in a little overconfident. We knew they were going to, I knew at least they were going to be well coached. Their offensive scheme was going to be dynamic, and it was. You watch them and they looked, I tell you, man, it really made me I love Sam Pittman. It took me back to when we had Petrino, watching them just score on us. And it's so frustrating. Yeah, we got down 17-0 and then finally buckled down and, took it to them. But it was hairy there for a while.
Do you have any concerns? I know Jalen Catalon, who I think when healthy is one of the best safeties in the country. He's out again, second year in a row, gets hurt early in the season, out for the year. Do you have any concerns about the secondary, might be giving up a little too much early in the season? And A&M, their offense has been bad, like atrocious. I mean, they have been so bad on offense, and they are looking for a spark. And they do have two really good receivers, a senior and a true freshman. You're a little worried that this might be the game that the Aggies bust out that passing game, Evan Stewart and Anaya Smith on your depleted Hog secondary.
I sure hope not. We get Miles Slusher back. That was the other player we lost in the Cincinnati game. He comes back for A&M. That's going to be a big boost. I think our defensive front, Drew Sanders.
Maybe
thank you. I can't thank you. I cannot thank you, Alabama, enough. I'd buy Nick Saban dinner.
That tackle he made that last week. He made that tackle.
Yeah,
basically picked
stood the guy up
and body slammed him.
Yeah, stood him up on. That was right before they pulled an okey doke on us and scored on 4th and 1, like 75-yard touchdown, just wide open. Everybody crashed down. Yeah, that was Drew Sanders right before that. Drew Sanders. I think as long as our defense can still get pressure, you've got Max Johnson and Hayes King, who neither one impressed me. Max Johnson didn't impress me at LSU.
No,
has arguably the worst athletic play by a Division I football player I've ever seen.
That behind the
back, just ignorant.
Yeah.
And so, no, neither. What worries me is A&M's defense kind of stifling the quarterback run, the RPO, and KJ bailing out when he's in trouble. I'm worried that we're not going to be able to convert some of those third downs and pickups, on seconds and third with KJ running because of A&M's defense. But offensively, no, you've got us, you've got the team that can score, or the team that we can score, but we also let anyone score against the team that can't score.
It's an interesting game. It's a contrast of styles. A&M's got the defense, but I mean, offense is bad. They would struggle to score on Piner JV, I think.
Yeah, they're anemic.
B team. And then again, Arkansas has got the good offense, returning quarterback, but been giving up points left and right all year. So the line, it was A&M by I think up to 3, settled at 2.5. Last I looked before the show, it's at 1.5. All the money is on Arkansas though. So people taking Arkansas money line.
And I think Vegas moves it. We know Vegas moves it for a reason. The right money is on Arkansas apparently for them to drop that line. And I think you may see it get close to. You may see it get close to a pick 'em. I don't know. 1.5's a lot for the remaining of the week. It just depends. But it wouldn't surprise me if it went to A&M 1. And I'd take Arkansas in that.
Still take Arkansas. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that keeps moving. It's been a little bit here and there. I can see somebody, one of the big sharps, laying a lot of money on Arkansas right before the window, and it could be a pick 'em right before kickoff. I could see that happening. But going back to what you said earlier, so how does the Arkansas passing game look this year? You lose Treylon Burke, who was Jefferson's go-to guy last year. They got the transfer from OU, Hazelwood. So if A&M does shut down the Razorback run game with Rocket Sanders and KJ Jefferson, they got enough to pull it out through the air.
I think we can spread the ball around.
Defense is pretty stout.
The defensive line, offensive line is supposed to be one of our best attributes. Aggie defensive line is one of theirs, so that's going to be a matchup to watch the whole game. Can we protect KJ Jefferson? If we can protect him, I think we can move the ball on him. I think we have playmakers at receiver. Rocket Sanders, it's going to be, if we can protect, it's going to be hard to keep him the ball out of his hands. He is dynamic. Do you know, through 3 games, he's got 400 yards. If he keeps that up, he will be 70 yards away from breaking Darren McFadden's single season rushing record. Yeah, and it doesn't seem like, there were some times where McFadden didn't do anything. Oh, wait, he broke off, 11 10-yard runs.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be stuff like that. That's kind of how Rocket Sanders is too. So it's going to depend on our offensive line. If we can keep the Aggie defense at bay, I think we have the playmakers on the outside where we kind of run away with this 10-plus point win. If it's close, I don't know. Every play is going to matter. We need our defense. We still need to get pressure. Jordan Dominic, Georgia Tech transfer. Landon Jackson, LSU transfer. He's really come on. Both the LSU guys we got, Landon Jackson and Dwight McGlothern, have really impressed me so far. They're starting to come in and show why, top programs recruited both of those guys. And I'm fortunate, we're fortunate to have them.
Yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be the game of the weekend. 2 top 20 ranked teams. It's a neutral site there in Arlington. I'm interested to see how it goes because of the contracts and styles. And you got 2 running backs who can really go.
Dude, A-Chain worries me.
From Aggies, and then Rocket Sanders. So it's going to be I don't know how that one's going to play out. I think it's they've both been tested. Arkansas was tested by Cincinnati week 1, and then of course the A&M with the loss of Appalachian State. Say what you want, but they rebounded and got the win last week against Miami. So
a win's a win by 1 or 100.
Yep. So that's going to be the big game of the weekend. So let's get into our picks. Last week, I was 3-1-1, 11-4 on the season, 73%. Jimmy, last week you had 4-1 on the season. The only game that got you was that BYU game. And
I'm about done with BYU and Baylor.
I was trying to tell you. I liked Oregon, and Oregon ended up blowing them out. But anyway, you're 11-7. As a show, we're picking 67% as a show.
That's pretty good.
Exactly.
That's winning money.
It's winning money. If you can drive to Arkansas, get it in Arkansas. I think it's the closest place to Texas. You'd be making money. All right. How many plays you got this week?
I got 5. I'm sticking with 5.
5. I got 7. Going with a little more. It's probably gonna be bad. One of those when you like the board this much.
Mm-hmm. It always comes back to get you.
It always comes back to get me. So, fair warning on that. But I am hot, picking at 73%. So, my first one, I love TCU. TCU was a pick 'em early in the week, right off the bat. And I'm sure people just poured money into that. And now it's up to -2. But I still like TCU. SMU, if you saw them last week, and an over, it could be a play here too. But I definitely like TCU. SMU can really score. Rhett Lashley, the new coach, they're throwing the rock all over the place. They had a shootout with Maryland last week. TCU 2-0. They had the bye. But my big thing is, Sonny Dykes coming from SMU beat TCU last year. He's not gonna go to TCU and let his old school beat him. The team he left to come to. That's just not happening. It is in Dallas, but I think TCU, Power 5 school at SMU, gets the job done. It's only 2. I think it's going to be a back and forth game, probably pretty high scoring, but I think TCU definitely can win by at least a touchdown. I like TCU.
All right. I like it. Mine kick this off. I think you're going to like this. I like Texas. I like Texas by more than a touchdown. I think the line's at 6.5. Take it. I think Texas, I've always said
like 4.
Yeah. I've always said.
And all the money is on Texas. I just looked it up. All the bets and all the money is on Texas.
Texas has an elite defense. I think they fly to the ball, speed on defense. Defense always shows up even when your offense doesn't. And I've always said it's hard to win in Lubbock, even for Texas Tech. And I think Texas goes out there, and I don't think it's close.
Really? Well, I'll throw some stats at you. Texas is 3-0 against the spread. Covered against a big number against ULM. Getting points against Alabama. Of course, that was a close game. and then was favored by 13 to UTSA, won by 21. So Texas, they are 3-0 against the spread. Also, they've won 6 in a row in Lubbock. The last time they lost was in 08, the infamous Michael Crabtree catch with 1 second. So they've had success in Lubbock 6 in a row, and in those 6 games, they're 4-1-1 against the spread. So the numbers are in your favor. Well, I guess, or you can look at it. Well, Tech's due to cover.
Tech's due, yeah.
But I think that I'm with you. I think Tech's really struggled on the offensive line, and I think that'll be the difference. Texas defensive line's really been getting after the quarterback, and their quarterback for Tech, Donovan Smith, he has 7 interceptions, or he has 5 in the last 2 games, and Tech has 7 as a team. So they've been turning the ball over, and I think that's what you need. If I took one to the side, I would definitely agree with you. I would go with Texas.
When you turn the ball over against an elite defense, they usually figure out a way to make points out of it.
And there's murmurs that Quinn Ewers is going to play. Now, there's nothing been announced, or Sark's keeping it under wraps pretty tight. But, depends on if he practices on Thursday or not. But rumors are flying around that Ewers might be back. My next one is Baylor, Iowa State over 45. I think 45 is just a low number for the Big 12. Iowa State's been throwing the ball pretty well. They got that new quarterback, Deckers. Baylor's got a pretty good run game. Iowa State is playing good defense, but it's one of those, like, how in a Big 12 opener, how can you not take over 45? I mean, 45 is not a lot of points. So it's 6 touchdowns and a field goal between the two of them. 3 touchdowns apiece, and one of them kicks a field goal. I mean, that's just not a lot of points. It's Big 12. So I'd take Baylor, Iowa State over 45.
That brings me to my next bet, Trey. And I said, I'm done. I'm done after this. I'm taking Baylor to cover. I'm taking Baylor to cover 2.5. And if Baylor lets me down, I'm done betting Baylor. I'm done. I think Baylor is the better team. I know it's at Iowa State. I think Baylor's the better team. Like I said, it's just, and if they lose, I'm done. Done betting Baylor. They're not who we thought they were.
I know. That's why I can't believe you're making this bet. But
yep. Baylor plus 2.5.
All right. I think, honestly, they're still getting too much hype from winning the Big 12 last year in preseason hype. And I think they're getting too much love. I kind of think you're on the wrong side of that one, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I think Baylor's still feeding off that preseason hype. I think Iowa State might be better than what people realize. Man, Campbell's a pretty good coach. So we'll say, all right, Jimmy takes Baylor plus 2.5. Another early game, Wake Forest, Clemson. Now, we've both been on here before talking about how bad Clemson's been. They still got Ukulele playing quarterback. Wake Forest, they got their quarterback back. He's got a game under his belt, got some rhythm. I think Wake Forest is a really good team. They could play for the ACC championship. They're getting 7 points at home. Give it to me. I'll take all 7 of them. I like Wake Forest to at least keep it within a touchdown, maybe even win it outright. But I like Wake Forest plus 7 against Clemson.
Game you got to win if you're Dabo. You got to win. Dabo's not on the hot seat. I think Dabo's one of those guys like,
oh, they love him.
Kind of like they love him. He's going to be there till he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
You got to win. This is a statement game for Clemson. And I think Clemson needs it more than Wake Forest does. Talking about teams that have to win, I think Clemson's got to win this, and I don't think they got to win convincingly. They need to win by 10 or more. But you're right, Wake Forest is tough. So I like that one. That's a good one. My next one is North Carolina, Notre Dame over 55. We know what North Carolina can do on offense. We know what Notre Dame can't do, apparently, and that's be our 4th playoff team like we predicted. I mean, man,
what a bad pick that was.
We're getting, man, preseason flop. We're not doing pre-flop. We're not doing well, man. But I think right here.
on Notre Dame.
No.
I think Utah, we said it was either going to be Notre Dame or Utah. I think Utah is going to bounce back. They might win out. I mean, we'll see how they do against USC, but it ain't going to be Notre Dame.
Right. Sure. No, but yeah, I think you could even do North Carolina 1.5, whatever you want to do. But I personally like the over 55.5. I think North Carolina can put up 60 if they want to. So I think the over North Carolina, Notre Dame.
All right, my next one, it's another big SEC game, Florida at Tennessee. I mean, this is just a spot to me that screams Florida. It's Florida's getting 11 points. I understand it's Tennessee. I understand they scored 1 billion points last week. I understand Florida looked great against Utah at home, and then if lost to Kentucky, and then probably almost should have lost last week to South Florida, who's one of the worst teams in college football.
Mhm.
I get that. It's 11. Give me the points. I'm taking Florida. I think Anthony Richardson, the quarterback, returns to form that he had week 1. To me, it just screams like tight, close game. I don't know if Tennessee's for real, not bought in. I know they were scoring 1 million points every week, but to me, this just seems like an easy Florida plus 11. I think it's a touchdown either way. So give me the Gators on the road at Tennessee plus 11.
I like it. It's going to be a tough one. Anytime you go into Knoxville, you know they're ready to play.
I know.
So
Got to show me you're for real. You know, if you win by
Mhm.
2 touchdowns, hats off to you. But I'm going to go with I'll go with Florida plus 11. That's a lot of points in
I
an
like it.
SEC game, I think.
I like it. My next one is USC at Oregon State. Both of these teams air it out. USC averaging over 500 yards of offense. Oregon State, 468 total offense. I think this is a shootout over 70. Take it.
It's a
Over
lot of
70.
points, but I agree with you.
A lot of points. Oregon State's going to be trying. USC, Lincoln Riley, they're airing it out.
Yeah.
Oregon State is going to want to do the same thing. And I think we got a shootout. I think we got a Big 12 style shootout going to go on there in the Pac 12. And I think USC, Oregon State over 70.
I can see it. All right, I got 2 college ones left. Give me Appalachian State at home against James Madison. Appalachian State -7. Did you see the end of that game last week? I know you were like, hey, I like
Buddy.
the over. And so I'm driving to Austin. I see it's at 52 or whatever, it's 2024. And then they take a safety and give up a Hail Mary to lose the game. Unbelievable. What a 3-game stretch Appalachian State has had.
Yeah.
I mean, just the back and forth with North Carolina and a couple overtimes, had a chance to win it a few times, then beat A&M on the road. And then last week, game day there, a game you should have lost. You make a Hail Mary to win. What a ride Appalachian State's on. They're playing
Yeah.
James Madison, who was an FCS school last year. Now their first conference game in the Sun Belt, playing at Appalachian State. Give me the Mountaineers -7 at home.
Yeah. That game under through the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Heads up play by that receiver to come back, get it, and then run and get to the sideline. Found.
What a block by the other receiver.
Yeah.
Make sure he got into the end zone.
And man, yeah, that was a great win. I loved it.
Yeah, heck of a game. Heck of a way to get an over right there.
My next one, staying in the Pac 12, talking about Utah, Arizona State over 54. I think this has got the makings of a 30 to 20 something game. I think this hits. It may barely squeak over, but I think this hits.
This is Utah, Arizona State over 54.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Utah's on a warpath. Utah might get you 40 to 50 points.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Utah can get 30 at least, and Arizona State, they're going to have to try to answer. So yeah. I think that one goes over.
All right, my last one. Now this one is another hold your butt special.
I like it.
Don't watch the game. Just check the score at the end. I'm going to ride that Iowa under until it loses.
Oh.
Last week, it was Iowa, Nevada, under 39. It hit easy, but it was 23-0 or 27-0. Okay. Now Iowa hosts Rutgers. Rutgers beats Temple like 18-17, and Temple's terrible. So give me Iowa, Rutgers under 35. Those 2 teams have to score 5 touchdowns to beat me. Show me. Prove it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it until it doesn't hit anymore. Vegas going to keep moving that line down. So I'm going to do Iowa, Rutgers under 35. Call me crazy. It hit last week. Maybe we can strike gold again.
There you go. Keep going to the well, baby, till it runs dry.
And then one more NFL, my only NFL pick. I got the Bengals to cover at the Jets. The Jets have the worst defense in the NFL, ranked 32 through 2 weeks. The Bengals, I think, found some momentum in the second half. The Jets have no pass rush, and that's what killed the Bengals. They were moving the ball up and down the field. They were on the field the whole second half against the Cowboys. They don't have to worry about the pass rush that they had to worry about last week. I think they, kind of panic mode for the Bengals, 0-2 after making the Super Bowl. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are really gonna put up have a big day. So give me Cincinnati Bengals -5 on the road at the Jets. There you go.
I like it.
I mean, we're paying people's mortgages here. We're picking
Right.
67%.
Help us, help you.
Help us, help you. There you go. All right. Another episode in the books, Gridiron Grind. Check us out. Still on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. And every week our episode comes out Thursdays at noon. You'll get a notification. It's time to listen to the Gridiron Grind. Other than that, we're on Twitter, Instagram. Still working on Apple. Had a good conversation with them earlier in the week, so we're hoping that gets resolved soon. But for the time being, we're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Jimmy G, I'm Creta. Another episode of Gridiron Grind. Jimmy, have a great weekend and see if those the Hogs can pull it out.
You too, buddy. Go Hogs.
All right, we'll see you.
See ya.